Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan. Today I have another Goosebumps episode review for you. Of course, this is concerning the old 1990s TV show. This is an adaptation of a book that I just read, and I finished this morning, and then I watched the TV episode before I went to work. And I've thought about both the book and the episode simultaneously, constantly the whole day long, and I have just wanted to come home and record the videos so desperately because I wanted to talk about both of these so well, or so much. Anyway, today's video is going to be on the Season 2, Episode 8. It premiered on October 12th, 1996. This episode is Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. I freaking loved the episode. I thought it was great. Why have I never seen this before? Even back in, 2005 or whatever it was, when Cartoon Network did the re-premiering, re-airing, whatever, of Goosebumps episodes, I never saw this. Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes is a fantastic book. I loved it. I gave it such a flying colors review recently, or just before this video if you happen to want to check it out. That would help me tremendously. I loved that book. I thought it was so good. It was such a big surprise to me. And I was a little shocked when I started looking online and found out Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes episode was just a one-part episode. It wasn't a two-parter like Welcome to Dead House or Night of the Living Dummy 3 or One Day at Horrorland even. I was a little surprised by that. It's not that there's a whole lot happening in the book that requires it to be a two-part episode, but I was just a little surprised. I kind of figured they'd stretch it out or do like a weird thing like Monster Blood did, where it's Monster Blood and then not Monster Blood 2, but more Monster Blood as an episode where they're on a plane, and that's never been a book before. I didn't know what I thought they would do, but I was really, really surprised by how much I loved this episode. I thought it was everything from dark to kind of creepy, actually kind of scary at times. I was watching this in the daylight. I'm a grown man. Loved Goosebumps. Never seen this before. Never read the book before until today, or the last couple of days. This is such a good book and such a good episode. I can't get over how much I've missed out on when it comes to a lot of Goosebumps stuff. I never read One Day at Horrorland when I was a kid. I never saw the TV episode when I was a kid, or when the re-airings came on Cartoon Network. Never saw or read Attack of the Mutant. Never saw or read Werewolf Skin, which I'm not sure if that's any good. I still haven't watched it or read it, but still, I hear a lot of good things. There's a lot of things I missed out on. Shocker on Shock Street. I loved both the TV episode and the book. More the book than the episode. The episode was alright. It was good. I don't mean to say alright, but it was good. But anyway, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes is one of the most surprising episodes of this show I've seen so far. A lot of the episodes I'm catching up on that I hadn't seen before are things like Don't Go to Sleep, which I just reviewed the episode and the book of, My Hairiest Adventure, which I just reviewed the book and the episode of, that I had never read either of those or watched their episodes. So I'm used to kind of picking up on things that are more extreme low-budget side of Goosebumps as a TV show, and kind of the stuff that doesn't really come across as a thing most people talk about. I cannot believe this is not in a lot of people's top 5 episodes for this show. Yeah, the budget's not big. It's not supposed to be. It's a very low-budget show in general. But the fact that the quality of this show and how well done the gnome stuff is really surprising to me. I loved this. I had such a good time watching this. You ever watch something that you didn't really know if it was going to be good, especially when it comes to Goosebumps, and you read a book and the book was fantastic, and you didn't really understand how the TV adaptation, show, episode, whatever, could really pull it off. And then you watch it and you feel better. You just have a good day. You feel great that day. That's the way my day has been because of this episode, and because of the book being so good too, which I read over the course of a few days. But this particular episode, I just had a blast watching it. I cannot wait. And I almost decided to postpone this review until tomorrow because I wanted to watch the episode again, but I might just forget about it and just watch it again anyway after I review this episode, because it was so much fun, man. I haven't had this fun with Goosebumps as an episode, TV show, whatever, in a while, because I don't really rewatch it all that often. I try to watch the episodes as I review the books, but this one kicked my feet out from under me. I really loved this. I thought it was so much fun. To get around to the plot, finally, after talking about this for so long, they changed quite a few things for this adaptation from the book, but I like the changes. I don't think they're that bad. I actually enjoy what they did with this. Essentially, the episode, starts off with the main character Joe and his sister Mindy, who is his older sister, playing out in the yard, playing catch with a ball. And she throws the ball too hard because they get in a little bit of an argument, spat thing. And it goes over in their neighbor's yard. And in this episode, they got rid of the character named Moose, who was the best friend of Joe, sorta, kinda. Kind of a bully, but not really. From the book, who was the next door neighbor's son. And the next door neighbor is just kind of by himself. His name is Mr. McCall. However, I don't remember in the book him being like this, but in the TV episode they changed him to be kind of an ex-military man who's still obsessed with military things. He wears camo pants. He does the attend hut type thing all the time to people. Just, he's very intimidating, he's very rude, he's very snarky, you know? And he is the kind of guy where in the book, the dad of the main character, Joe and Mindy, well, main character is Joe and Mindy, and Mr. McCall are actually kind of buddies. They joke around about each other's tomato patches that they're trying to go into a competition for. They got rid of that. They just kind of have like a yard prize thing you can win now as a competition where these judges come by, they judge how your yard looks with all its statues and decorations and whatnot. They're doing that instead of the tomato garden type competition thing. And Mr. McCall is not friends with Joe and Mindy's dad this time around in this episode adaptation. He's actually mean to him too, just like he is to the kids. If the kids drop a ball over in his yard, he immediately keeps it because it's on his property. He does it to be mean. He's just a mean guy. In the book, he was kind of mean to the kids, but he was always really good friends with the dad, and I enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of a cool little change-up, kind of like in the opposite fashion of Why I'm Afraid of Bees with that next-door neighbor that's a beekeeper in that book. They are not friendly with that guy in particular. Mr. McCall here is very different, so I was kind of surprised by how much I liked this portrayal of Mr. McCall, just to kind of have him stand out a little bit as a Goosebumps character. He could have just been a typical, bland, next-door neighbor character that's just an old, balding guy. No military trace or anything like that, but I feel like it added some personality, to him and the episode itself, and gave the actor something to do. I feel like all the acting, for the most part, was fine. The kids are okay. The parents are actually a lot better, I think, than most of the kids in here. But Mindy and Joe, they're fine. I don't hate it. They're good, I guess, for what this is. It's Goosebumps. It's not really like the best thing ever for entertainment, quality-wise, for writing or story or props or setting, sets, anything like that, really. The music is always great, though. The music's great here as well. So basically, Joe's dad, he is obsessed with decorating his yard with statues and decorations and whatnot. Lawn ornaments is what they're called. There's a store that he also loves called Lawn Lovely, I believe it was. It's either Lawn Lovely or Lovely Lawn. I think it's Lawn Lovely, though. There's an old lady there that works there, and Joe's dad, Joe and Mindy's dad, actually, I keep forgetting Mindy. Joe and Mindy's dad show up with his truck, filled up with some couple of things in the back. He actually bought new ornaments. They turn out to be two lawn gnomes that they end up nicknaming Chip and Hap. I don't think in the episode that they nicknamed them, though. I'm almost sure that they didn't. I don't remember them mentioning the names anymore, but in the book they're called Chip and Hap, as in chip on one of them's tooth, because it has a problem with its tooth. The other one's named Hap, because it looks kind of happy. The two gnomes, there's two different ways that this episode approaches having the gnomes. And by the way, I'm obsessed with Goosebumps books that are focused around inanimate objects coming to life, whether it be cyborgs, whether it be robots, AI, dinosaurs, slappy ventriloquist dummies, whether it be lawn gnomes in this case. I love that stuff. It's where I think Goosebumps shines the most, honestly. I love stuff like that. Chucky used to scare me when I was a kid, so I think that's a big part of that obsession with inanimate objects coming to life and Goosebumps. They approached the two lawn gnomes in a different way for this episode that I didn't expect them to do this. They have the stationary, typical plaster little gnomes that are like ceramic, that are for the show, that are props. And then, on the other hand, when the gnomes are supposed to come to life, it's basically midgets in costumes with masks over their head. They look just like the regular gnome-looking things. And one of the most ingenious things that worked so well most of the time in this episode that I was really taken aback by at first was that what they did was tell the gnome midget guys to close their eyes, and they would paint, circles on their eyelids. So when they come to life in the episode, they just open their eyes and now their regular eyes are there. It's like their little gnome eyes are just painted onto their eyelids. That was a genius twist of how to develop these gnomes. Once Goosebumps Aussie fan, who is now called 90s Portal here on YouTube, once upon a time he talked about how he preferred the lawn gnomes in the TV episode versus the movies, right? I have to tell you, I really like the TV gnomes, or the movie gnomes. They don't talk, they don't do anything like they do in the episode or in the book. But I have to say, I agree with Bjorn so much that I prefer the TV episode gnomes. I know they're cheesy, I know the whole episode is goofy just like most of this show typically is, but it works so well. And I can tell you this, if I had seen this episode when I was a kid, it would have terrified me. It would have scared the crap out of me, because there are some creepy moments in this episode. There are some tense moments, some really good atmosphere in here with nighttime scenes and whatnot. There's a lot of really good stuff in here that feels like Not a Living Dummy, Slappy, Ventriloquist Dummy type stuff. If you love Slappy, I think you'll love this episode, and I think you'll love the book. I said that in my review for the book. I really, really loved both the book and this episode. I thought both were just amazingly fantastic. They had so much going for them. They were fun. They were enjoyable. The TV episode is its own thing, so you can kind of watch it without really getting the entire book, but it's also a good, faithful, relatively, adaptation of the book. So if you want something good and similar, but not identical, you can read or watch either one and not spoil the other. You know, it works so well. I love it. Even the ending is a little bit different with a really cool twist at the end of the episode that I enjoyed a lot. And I won't spoil that for you because this is a spoiler-free review. But I gotta tell you, man, this is one of my absolute favorite Goosebumps episodes. It's way up there with me for Attack of the Mutant and Welcome to Deadhouse and really good stuff up there like that. Not top tier like Not a Living Dummy 3 or anything like that, but it's up there for me, man. I really, really love this episode. I thought it had so much going for it. I feel like there was something... Oh yeah, I know what it was. There was something else I forgot to mention too. The gnomes at one point do talk, and I swear to you that the voice actor for Slappy from Not a Living Dummy 3 was in this. I swear he was, and did the voice for some of the gnomes, or at least a fraction of it. I looked on IMDb. Of course, that's what I had at the beginning of this video, so you could see where I got information from, like the release date and whatnot. And it says that the guy who did the voice for Rocky and somebody else in Not a Living Dummy 3, particularly Rocky, who was a very deep mobster voice type dummy in that episode, Not a Living Dummy 3, I kind of expected that he would just be... I don't know, I almost wonder if he was the same guy who also voiced Slappy in that, or at least a portion of Slappy in that particular episode, Not a Living Dummy 3. I don't know. I don't know how that happened or what happened there, but the thing for me is that it sounds like Slappy. There are moments where the gnomes are giggling and laughing, and I'm telling you, it sounds just like the Slappy actor. I'm telling you it does. I was really surprised by that. I enjoyed that. I thought that was a really cool little reference to people who are paying attention and people who love Slappy, particularly from the TV show, like myself, which Not a Living Dummy 3 may or may not be the thing that got me into Goosebumps. I don't remember when I was a kid. It's a long time ago. But I'm pretty sure the VHS that I saw at Hollywood Video is what got me into Goosebumps for the first time ever. And I'm pretty sure that scary, haunting laugh and giggle and voice from the guy who played Slappy in Not a Living Dummy 3 is the same person working in here. I'm convinced either he was uncredited or they used his laughter or something that he didn't know about. I don't know, but he's not on the IMDb page. I looked. I was trying to find it. Couldn't find it. One of the other things I want to bring attention to as well, just to give you an example of how good this was and who was behind it that made it even more special, which has proved my point. If you make a bad Goosebumps episode on this show, you usually don't come back as a director. Not always, you know. But if you make a good one, a really good one, you're typically brought back a lot of the time. One of my favorite Goosebumps directors for the TV show episodes was brought to make this, and it just feels like something special in general, and it feels special because I figured out who it was that did this. IMDb lists this man, William Fruit, or Fruet, I think it's Fruit, as the guy who directed Attack of the Mutant, which was a two-parter, and it was fantastic. The Haunted Mask 2, Part 1 and Part 2, of course, which was also fantastic. I love that. It's one of my favorites. Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns episode, which is also mostly great. The ending is a little weird. It's changed from the ending of the book, but the episode is mostly good. Mostly great, even, I would say. He also did Stay Out of the Basement, Part 1 and Part 2, and One Day at Horrorland, Part 1 and Part 2. William Fruet, or Fruit, is a key player in the old popularity of Goosebumps as a TV show, and I'm really thankful that I got to see him do something really special with the book I just fell in love with, that I just finished this morning. Then I got to watch this episode and fell in love with this as well. I cannot wait to go back through and marathon Goosebumps as a TV show at some point in my life and get to see episodes like this and see how well made they are. Yeah, it's a cheesy show. Yeah, it's a goofy and silly put-together show. But dude, people like William Fruit and Timothy Bond are the people who made Goosebumps so special to so many of us when we were growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s. Because of the kind of effort and the kind of willingness to make something that felt like the R.L. Stine storytelling tone. And that's what this feels like. Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes is so well made, and I love it to death. I love the way the gnomes are put together. I love the costumes for the gnomes. I love the design for them. I love them more than I love the TV movie gnome, or not the TV movie, excuse me, the movie gnomes that are just kind of ceramic CGI, which is good, it's well done, but I like this way more. And I agree with Bjorn from GoosebumpsFan, or 90s Portal, whatever you want to call him now. I agree with him tremendously in his old video where he said that. He is dead on right about that. These are so fantastic for a 90s kids entertainment type thing. If you love slappy stuff, you'll love this, I think. If you just give it the benefit of the doubt, you go into it expecting it to be kind of low budget and silly, I think you'll enjoy this. It was really fun, and the gnomes wreaking havoc is fun too to watch. For a 20-minute long episode, and not a two-parter, where it'd be like 40 minutes or 45 minutes, a 20-minute long episode, and it brought me this much joy. And I wish this had been on VHS at one point. It was such a different, fun episode to watch compared to a lot of these episodes. But it just proved and reinforced how much I love Goosebumps, how much I love the old TV show at times when it has the best of the best episodes. This is one of my top 10 probably episodes of the entire show so far. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And it's such a surprise, too. I didn't expect it to be good, even though I loved the book so much. I did not expect this episode to be as good as it was, and I cannot believe that people not only hate the book a lot of the time, but hate this episode a lot of the time. It really kind of surprises me a lot. I really hope that at some point we get another Lawn Gnomes book from Slappy World. I would love that. I would be so excited about that if they announced that for like next year in 2021 as the second or third book. We already had the first book coming out. I forgot what it is. I think it's My Friend Slappy or whatever. But if they would announce a new Lawn Gnomes book, I would be so excited for that. No, wait, next year starts with the Monster Blood book, the new Monster Blood. But anyway, this is a great episode. Just check it out. Give me the chance to tell you that it is worth watching. I think you'll love it if you love Slappy type stuff. If you have not read the book before, you'll be fine. Just check it out. I think you'll enjoy this tremendously. It's really good. The book is also fantastic if you want a really good Goosebumps read, in my opinion, at least. A lot of people have told me they didn't like it. I liked it a lot. I loved it, as a matter of fact. Anyway, when it comes to Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, the Season 2, what was it, Episode 8? Yeah, Episode 8. When it comes to this episode, if I had to rate Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes on a 5-star basis, I would easily give this a 5 out of 5. I loved it. Yeah, it has a tiny little flaws here and there with the production and the editing and whatnot. I noticed at one point there's a person that's supposed to be a lawn gnome. It's literally just a regular adult or teenager with a lawn gnome mask on. Doesn't look good. It's a problem. It's kind of crappy looking, but it's like one shot, like 1 or 2 shots out of the entire great 20-minute long episode. Thank you, William, for bringing so many great things to Goosebumps and being such a treasure to this show. I appreciate you. I love you, even. Anyway, guys, check out the episode. Check out the book. I loved it all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient. Listen to me fanboy about a couple of good books and episodes I've loved so much and how much the show means to me. I've had such a good day after watching this and reading that book. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below, guys. Thank you for watching. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today, and goodbye.